the Deceiver is the second track on Warlocks Grim Withered Hags, and it's based on the Scottish play, Shakespeare's Macbeth, and it contains a few quotes from and references to the play, as well as some biblical references that may be alluded to in the play. The lyrics focus primarily on the character of Macbeth and the struggle he faces internally as he plans to kill Duncan in order to ascend the throne himself. The start of this track is quite mid-paced and is actually in drop C sharp tuning. The rest of the track is in E flat standard. It's inspired by a lot of the early Megadeth material, especially from the Peace Sells But Who's Buying album, especially tracks like Good Morning Black Friday with the leads and the solos at the beginning. So we're back up to E flat standard now for the main riff. It's quite a difficult one with the speed, the rhythm and the string skipping, but it's really fun to play and it sounds cool. The verse riff here is very much inspired by a lot of Swedish crust punk and D-beat bands, such as Wolf Brigade, Skit System and Anti-Cymex, for example. I think the heavy power chord bass part here is a nice contrast from the main riff and the pre-chorus riff, which are more based on single notes. And I think the minor chords included in this part also give it more of a black metal feel, which is cool. So the chorus is very black metal inspired, which I think is quite obvious when you listen. And overall I think it's a part that's quite unusual for Hellripper. The guitar for the most part is playing full chords as 16th notes, and the drums are primarily based on the toms and the double kick, which I think give it a little bit more of a low end, and again is a nice contrast between the more speed metal type parts that come before and after the chorus. There's also quite a few things going on in the background to make the chorus a little bit more atmospheric. So there are a number of guitar tracks kind of buried in the mix that are playing things one octave higher, for example. The very last chorus is slightly different, especially with the drums, where the tom smashing has been replaced with cymbals. I just thought that this was a nice change to have near the end of the song, and it sounds slightly more chaotic than the previous choruses. So I've had this part here written for quite a few years now. It was originally written as a bridge part to the track Decrepit Christ from the 2019 EP Black Arts and Alchemy. It didn't quite work there, and so it was put aside, and it was later included as part of the song Hexanat from the 2020 album The Affair of the Poisons. Again, didn't quite work on that song, and so it was shelved again. And it's a really cool part, so I'm glad that I finally found the right context for it. It's inspired by the likes of Judas Priest and Venom, and when the vocals kick in a bit later on in the bridge, I wanted them to have a Kronos type sound to them as well, which I think gives the track something a bit different. So that was some riffs from I the Deceiver, as well as a little bit about the lyrics. You can listen to the track now, as well as the full-length album Warlocks Grim and Withered Hags, wherever you listen to your music.